From LALATE headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Afternoons LALATE.
It's a big afternoon of Afternoons LALATE with incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check update of 2021. In this recording, we'll go over this incredible recon that is getting passed in the Senate. The House and Senate Democrats said overnight. Despite the inability to get it done by Christmas, the Senate, House, and members say it's going to be done. And those incredible programs in this recording will be detailed, upwards of $15,000 of checks, the biggest payout you ever seen in the history of this channel. And the great news is that all the checks that are in there are still staying in there at the time of this recording. And in fact, there's still room to add in there that MSC. We're going to go over that MSC, and we're going to go over the checks that are sending out right now. This is third stimulus, going out today, tomorrow, and next week. Average view of this channel has gotten $5,000. It's incredible. And I'm going to show you how to get this holiday Christmas stimulus that's available right now. It's from third stimulus, and how viewers have gotten lots of it in the last few weeks. We'll be turning to that student loan debt forgiveness, the latest details on that, plus the latest details on that fifth stimulus. And what's going on with that COLA raise, and what is going on with that SNAP increase or decrease. I have all the latest details, plus my commentary in the final 5 minutes of this video. Plus, I'll give you guidance as to why the financial market's still sort of unsettling, as the Federal Reserve gave us guidance of a quicker tapering, but no guidance as to how many rate hikes and when the rate hikes will start up. Meantime, I'll give you guidance and guidelines about where the voting dates would likely land next, as we await an update from Chuck Schumer. Those incredible great news, plus the latest on what is happening with third stimulus money in your wallet, fourth stimulus money coming in your wallet, and fifth stimulus right behind that. It's a big, bold, beautiful afternoon. I'm excited you're here. The excitement starts right here, right now, as Afternoons LA gets underway from Santa Monica, California. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. I hope you're having a beautiful day. Here we go. That RECON is going to become a law. Student loan debt forgiveness is an offer on the table. I'll be cutting to that, and I'll also be cutting to the fifth stimulus coming up in January. First, right after that COLA raise, the latest details on that today on Afternoons. But first, we're going to start with the Senate changes, with the Senate parliamentarian now ruling what provisions have to come out of that recon. The programs elsewise are staying in there. A lot of checks, average of $15,000, biggest payday we ever seen in the history of this channel. But no time and place to wait for fourth stimulus, because third stimulus is still paying out right now. And the average view of this channel is getting about $5,000. I'll go over how to get that incredible sums of money in this recording, and I'm excited you're here because we have a lot of breaking news, a lot to go over. So with that, subscribe. Go right on this video right now and hit that subscribe button. I want you part of this incredible family so you do not miss a video across the board. Become a part of the #1 most watched geopolitical channel in America, and become a member as well. So you get that incredible newsletter Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. that features the big money, how viewers are cleaning up under third stimulus. It's coming up in just a second. Also sign up for those LALATE alerts, which is news.lalate.com/alerts. A link to it is in the video's description. Totally free across the board, and you don't want to miss anything in this recon. The recon has on average about $15,000 of checks in there. And the great news as we go into a new week is that all those checks stayed in there for you after the Senate parliamentarian ruled. This is great, incredible news. Let's go to the first 3 clusters and 3 add-ons, starting with the hazard pay. Got it in there, and it stayed in there. My earned income tax credit for 1 more year. $4,000 of elder care, got it in there. $4,000 of care for young children, got it in there. The Pell Grant $550 check, got it in there. And home repairs, if you live in a low-income community, got it in there. Meantime, they got in there the new electric car, about $12,500, got it in there. The first add-on comes from a representative here in Southern California, and her name is Maxine Waters, and she got it in there. And what is it for? It is free money for the purchase of your first home. It is absolutely incredible. And she wanted to initially give you $25,000. She got a little bit less. How do you get this money? Stay with me. It's coming up later in this video. Let's go to the second cluster of checks, home repairs and paid leave. Wow. So in this cluster, we see a lot of great stuff. They got in there the expansion of the family leave, child care, the household tax credit, pre-kindergarten, and the home repairs, in this case, to weatherize your home. You have to be in that holiday spirit. And in the McConnell residence, holiday spirit involves dressing up as a lobster, serving lobster, and having a lobster martini. Yeah, not my thing. Is that a Cosmo you're serving me? No, that's a lobster teeny. Oh, goodness. That's why it's red. No, I will pass. Thank you. Where's McDonald's? Let's go to the second add-on at Jack's. It comes with illustrious Bob Casey. Bob Casey wanted to put it in there. He got it in there. And it is big money that will provide free home health care for seniors and people on disabilities. Wow. He wanted to give you $250 or $250 to the program. He didn't get that amount. He got a little bit less, but it got in there. Let's go to the third cluster of checks. How do you get all these checks? Stay with me. It's coming up later in this video. In this third cluster, we have in there immigration reform. That got removed. Senate parliamentarian removed it as I had predicted. So that is the only check you're hearing on this channel that got removed from the Senate parliamentarian. They also got in there the cheaper prescription medication, the free school meals for all checks. They got in there the free internet. They got in there the incredible worker protection like independent contractors, the free internet, and of course the expansion of Medicare, which is our checks for seniors. So House versus Senate. The House is done on this provision, but the Senate is not. The House gone in there, the expansion of Medicare, by adding and hearing and also doing the Medicaid gap fix, but the Senate hasn't really gotten to its three provisions, which still vows to add in there. And what are those? Those on the Senate are the hearing, the dental, and the lowering the eligibility age of Medicare. So currently not in there, but reportedly going in there. Sound familiar? Does it sound like something else? It should. It sounds exactly like what is going on with MSC. MSC is so important to explain the importance of that MSC today in a new context, which you're hearing for the first time on this channel right today. MSC refers to multiple IRS stimulus check because there's multiple checks in the fourth stimulus recon, but these are ones sent out from the federal government, perhaps on a monthly basis. What's important to understand is that the recon, fourth stimulus recon, is done for purpose of the House. It's been passed by the House. It's not done for purpose of the Senate. As we go into Christmas, as we go into New Year's, it's not done for purpose of the Senate. So understand, they do not have a complete Senate bill that is locked and key. In fact, you just heard me say that the immigration reform is out, so they have to reallocate that money to somewhere else. It is a bill in flux, and it's a bill in flux to add stuff and remove stuff. So that's why advocacy is so important. The recon is at the edge of the finish line, is not over the finish line. The tow truck is moving, as someone said, and the tow hitch is attached to the tow truck. So it's important to advocate. And who do you advocate to? Casey, Coons, Warren, Wyden, Sanders, and Schumer. Advocate for that inclusion. Now, when we're talking about that MSC, what are we talking about? Let's go over the details of it. The legislators back in the month of May said that they would give it to you. And they said they would do it at the same as a third stimulus check. Well, in the case of a third stimulus check, single individual, $75,000 less, got it. Married couple, $150,000 less, got it. Double it. Family of four, got it. Quadruple it. If you're on benefits, SSI, SSDI, Social Security, rural benefits as well, you got it. It's not income. It's not taxable. It's offered across all United States. It is not a state stimulus. This is a federal stimulus. And it's also offered to adult dependents as well. What was the provisions that they had talked about? They had last talked about $2,000 the first month, $1,000 thereafter for up to 6 months. No, it's not retroactive. It is from the date in which it becomes law. And that provision is a provision that the senators still vow to add in there. Why? Because in the last 6 days, they've told viewers they want to put it in there. Back in the month of May, they told thousands of viewers they want to put it in there. But 2 weeks ago, when the legislation landed in the Senate, we re-advocated. And boy, did we hear loud and clear. Janet picked up the phone and called over to Chuck Schumer's office and was told it's going in there via Bernie Sanders. Then the wonderful Bonnie got the same assurances from Liz Warren's office. Donnie from Ron Winans' office. Tyrell from Chris Coons' office. And Lynn Glenn from Bob Casey's office. Advocating involves telling your incredible story of why you need a provision across the board. And there you go. What's important to understand is that the MSC is one of several provisions in a recon that is not yet done. So you have to understand the situation is not done. Things can still get added. In fact, they can add QRC and TRC and PRC. They can add a lot of other stuff to this recon because they are not done. That is why it's important to advocate until we're to the edge of the finish line. And guess what? That's what they're doing as well, because they're trying to advocate to keep provisions in there that may fall by the wayside. And who do you advocate to? Let's go over it again. Casey, Coons, Warren, Wyden, Sanders, and Schumer. But what's clearly more important right now in the scope of advocacy is advocating for your wallet. And that's picking up the phone and getting the big money available right now from Third Stimulus. And Third Stimulus is paying out. Viewers have gotten on average $5,000 over the last 2 weeks. It's incredible. In the second half of this video, I'm going to show you how you get these incredible sums of money from this third stimulus. It's available right now to get. Then we're going to turn back to where we are going into Christmas, what happened overnight, what happened yesterday. If you missed yesterday's afternoon's recording, if you missed yesterday's evening's recording, I'm going to give you a rundown because those were jaw-dropping, nearly 60-minute long videos that explain what went off the rails at the 11th hour and why we aren't done right yet and when we will be done. We're going to cut back to this incredible fourth stimulus recon that is getting a major push today, as Pramila Jayapal says. The House did it. Time for the Senate to do it. We're going to go over those incredible checks and those incredible recon. The Senate changes that go that recon. Then we'll be turning to that COLA raise. Your questions about SNAP. Very big question. I'm getting a lot of questions I'm getting about this. And of course, that student loan debt. We'll go over all that details and more as we go into the big second half of this recording. It's a great afternoon. I'm excited you're here. But first, here's a little bit about the community page. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now on Afternoons LALATE as we go into a big Christmas week, and that recon is going to get done, but not before Christmas. The big checks in this incredible recon, I'm going to go over all of them. I'll go over what happened with the president, Chuck Schumer. If you missed yesterday's doubleheader of a live broadcast late in the day to deliver the breaking news. Student loan debt forgiveness, the latest details on that, plus the breaking news about this stimulus and that COLA raise. But more importantly, we will be turning over to third stimulus that is paying viewers outwards of $5,000. And I'll show you in the final 5 minutes of this video how to get more money of this across the board. I'm very excited for you. We got a huge second half of today's recording, so I want you to subscribe and go under this video right now and be part of this incredible family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video to 3,000 likes and consider becoming a member of the #1 most watched channel on this subject matter in the United States. Print, broadcast, or the internet. This is LA. Sign up for that LA newsletter, which is totally free as well, under the description of the video, and that is at news.lalate.com/alerts. And as we go into a big second half, as Americans are wondering what's going on with Omicron, what is going on with Delta, I have a lot of that details as well coming up in the final 5 minutes of this video. First, let me go over where the recon is right now. It may be very confusing to a lot of people because so many things changed by the minute, by the hour. There was one promise I made to you last week. I said, do not miss a single video by the minute or by the day. Meaning, if there's several videos on this channel in one day, make sure you watch all the videos because the situation is very fluid. And boy, was it fluid. This is what happened. 2 weeks ago, Chuck Schumer issued a written statement that said the recon will become a law by Christmas. The other version of his statement was the recon will pass the Senate by Christmas. To pass the Senate by Christmas will require 3 days of voting. To become a law by Christmas will require 4 days of voting. He intended to start the week of Christmas, a 5-day work week, because Christmas Eve is a Friday, the 24th. So certainly enough days to get it done, either by a law or pass the Senate. And that was to be this coming Monday. So what happened? The Wednesday before the coming Monday, last Wednesday, the President of the United States was asked by press, do you think he's going to get it done? And Chuck Schumer, he says, I believe so. I'm very hopeful we're going to get it done. That was Wednesday. Thursday, 24 hours later, the President issued a written statement, name-dropping three times Joe Manchin's name, and saying the recon will take a couple more weeks. So what happened between Wednesday, when he said we're done, and he believes the recon will become a law in the next 7 days, and then Thursday, where he says, I need a few couple more weeks? What really became the issue was that the recon was not ready. The recon was not ready because the president did not have complete agreement with Joe Manchin, and negotiations between the White House and Joe Manchin over the week had not gone well. The Joe meetings were not improving because why? Number one, Joe Manchin was saying that he was agreeing to certain provisions, according to Liz Warren, and then 24 hours later saying, I didn't agree to it. And Liz Warren said he just agreed to it. Why is he saying he's unagreeing to the situation? Moreover, while we looked like we maybe had 1 or 2 provisions at issue with Joe Manchin, like paid leave, suddenly looked like the list of things that Joe Manchin was uneased about was growing. So the president was not getting anywhere. Moreover, Chuck Schumer was in a bind because Chuck Schumer on Wednesday was actually saying, I have to give guidance to my legislators. Should they go? Should they leave town and call quits? Or are we really voting this following Monday? And he was waiting for the president of the United States to issue a statement on Wednesday. Statement never came. So the president was under pressure from Joe Manchin, under pressure from Chuck Schumer to issue a statement. Are we voting the following Monday or not? And the president took the bite and said, no, we're not voting. And that is where we are. So when will the recon become a law? When will the voting happen? How will it progress? What's up next? What are all the details? The recon will go for a vote in the month of January, says the president, says Chuck Schumer, and says Democrats, whether vigorously in favor of the recon or slightly in favor of the recon. Why? Because they say there's big problems ensuing right now. Number one, all the provisions of the debt, all the provisions of the third stimulus that are continued by the fourth stimulus are now expiring because the fourth stimulus has not become a law. If it becomes law, they have to change the language and reactivate an expired provision. Very, very difficult. So that is not something that the Democrat caucus look to see. Number two, there are Democrats who are up for re-election in the House of Representatives who are now issuing statements saying, you are really setting me up to lose my House seat because it looks like we couldn't get it done. Why should I be reelected when we talked about something, but we didn't walk about something? And with that, let's go over all the incredible provisions of the recon, understanding that they're all in there with the exception of the immigration reform, which I had first told you it was coming out. The provisions start with a lot of checks and starts with the paid leave, which reportedly the Senate parliamentarian has so far kept in there. And this amounts to about $15,000 a check. So they got the paid leave, which pays about which pays a lot. $1,700 a week if you make, $1,400 a week if you make $70,000 or more per year. $800 a week if you make $35,000 or more per year. If you make $15,000 or more per year, $400 a week. How many weeks? Up to 4 weeks per year. If you don't work, but your son or daughter does, then every day they take you to the doctor, take off from work, they're going to get paid. They got $72,000 in there for the SALT cap deduction, raising it from $10,000. What is this? This is the amount that you can deduct on your state and local tax returns when you go over to the federal tax return. What is the reaction to the SALT cap? So it did stay in there. Now, some of the progressives on the Senate side want to remove it. So if they remove it, that would cause problems for the moderate Democrats in the House when it goes back, because they say it's a game. It's a no stop answer. They have to keep it in there. They got in there the $40 billion of free job training. That's great. It means Americans want to take a higher paying job, and they got in there the incredible Medicaid gap fix, which will provide insurance to 12 states where the governors vowed never to pay for Obamacare. Now the Democrats will have a workaround plan that provides subsidized private insurance to low income uninsured people in those states. And then we come to the best provision of the entire recon. Third stimulus and the housing, repeated over and over again. Wow. Housing is in this fourth stimulus, $150 billion of housing, with 6 provisions, 3 which are brand new. Home repairs, the weatherize your home, and the first-time home purchase. More about that in a second. But the other provisions that are very familiar are repeat from third stimulus. And the great news, you don't have to wait for third stimulus to become law. You can get them right today. And how do you get them? Excuse me, you don't have to wait for fourth stimulus to become law. You can get them right today from third stimulus. And what are they? They are rent, utilities, mortgages, and more. And I go over how to get those incredible sums of money starting right now. Back in October of 2020, we were waiting for second stimulus to become law. We had first stimulus as law, but we were waiting for second, just like how we're waiting for fourth. And just then, like now, I said you had bills to pay during the holiday season. Let me help you get your bills paid. So I stepped forward and I said, I'm going to show you how to get rent. This is last year when there was not a lot of rent money. And Tyrone and his family of 4 out of Boston got $15,000 change in their holiday season. When I taught you about how to get this money, I said, well, if you get the money for rent, then the rent cash for the landlord that you would normally get ready to pay the landlord stays in your wallet. You don't have to take it out. And now you can reallocate to something else, fixing the car in the driveway, holiday gifts, holiday meals. That's how we rock and roll on this channel. So 2 weeks ago, I said, go get this big money from third stimulus, and you did. Average viewer of this channel has gotten $5,000 from third stimulus, 4 to 6 months of rent, and 2 utilities, but we can get even better on that. I'm going to show you later in this video. When third stimulus became law earlier this year, it was incredible. But in fall 2020, I had an early preview of what third stimulus was going to be. And I looked at it, I said, there's a $14 stimulus check, but there's a lot of other money in there, upwards of about $15,000. When it becomes law, I'll show you how to get this money. And when it became law, you got the money, but you got even more. The average viewer got about $45,000. Now, back around, you're coming around and getting more money. When I first brought third stimulus back on this channel 2 weeks ago, there was 2 reactions. One, viewers said, I thought I can't get any more money. I thought it's one time, one serve. Other viewers thought that the money had already been used up. Both were answers to no. And the incredible stories keep on coming in by the minute, by the hour. If you have had a success story and I've not read it on air, send me a private message and I'll feature it on air. Send me a private message on social media. Here's Amy. Thank you so much for your unprecedented dedication to helping your viewers attain financial help during these uncertain times of hardship. My husband and I were able to get 3 rounds of utilities. So she got another round. She got another round of rent, and she had gotten food stamps. And she said, these may not be big ticket items, but they help us. And what I like about her story is she got multiple rounds, and she's in a rural area of a Midwest state, which shows you there's money everywhere. The incredible stories keep on coming on in. There is the incredible Judy, who says, you're Jesus in disguise. I appreciate that, Judy. Thank you for reporting. I was able to get $3,000 from your channel last year. I got another $3,000. That helped me to be able to get those Christmas gifts I wanted for my loved ones. I've been listening to your show since March 2020. I've told my friends and family, and you are the best. I really appreciate that. There's Sandra, who says that she's gotten more money. And the success stories keep on coming in. There's Tonya. And more success as Tyrone Davis got 4 more months of rent. There is Chef John Meyer. You are a true blessing. I appreciate that, Chef. Here's Deborah. She got 6 months of rent. Wow. We're seeing about $4,000 to $6,000. Now, some people got $10,000. Here's Lynn Glenn. She got 4 more months of rent. She already got it earlier this year. And the incredible stories keep on coming in across the board. I like Chris's story. Why? Because Chris got $10,000 from this earlier this year. So Chris got more money. And how much did he get? Another $4,500. So get your newsletter out. Get your pen and paper out if you're not a member. I'm going to show you how to get these big sums of money. We're going to start with the rent. 6 places you reach out to get this rent. 6, and I'm saying 6. It's not 1. And first, let's go over the amount of the rent. Well, it was $20,000 to $30,000. Now it's a lot more. Average viewers channel is getting about $40,000 for rent. Let's look at the graphic and pull it up and see what it looks like. The rent money is the result of the need during the pandemic, and the numbers have gone up because viewers have gotten more sophisticated and pushing to get these incredible sums of money for rent and other items. So here we go. Here is the rent, and this was a graphic 3 months ago. It is now $40,000. So where are the places you get it? 6 places: City Hall, City House Authority; County Hall, County House Authority; State Hall, and State House Authority. And the keywords you say are rent assistance because of COVID, mortgage or utility assistance because of COVID. There are 3 musts. You must reach out to all 6 places. Number 1, you must get applications filed everywhere. Number 3, you must get multiple rounds. So if you got a round earlier this year, get another round today. If you got a round yesterday with one organization, get another round with another organization today. And do the same thing for mortgage assistance. Here's utilities. Get it by reaching out to all utility companies. You're going to say utility assistance because of COVID. Mark's brother-in-law got $15,000 from this channel for utility assistance. SNAP is money for food. You get it from Department of Agriculture. Reach out to them right now. You should not be paying for your own food if you got a third stimulus check. Eligibility is even easier. Mark's brother-in-law is getting $25,000 a year because of this channel, which is $250,000 over the next 10 years. Combo, you want to get multiple items. Here's Nisi and Art Sullivan. They got 3 back in May. They inspired all these other viewers. Mark had 2 items at $32,000. I said, Mark, where's your third? He got it. Brought himself up to $50,000. Mark got more items since then and is at over $100,000. Here's Lorraine. She was at $105,000 and now she's at $120,000. In the last 7 days, more success stories kept on coming in. One viewer got $138,000 from his family from third stimulus, and another viewer got $40,000 from third stimulus as well. And there you go. Very, very exciting. Which brings us to the incredible story of Johnny. Why do I like Johnny's story? Because it truly embodies how to do this correctly and how to avoid doing it incorrectly. And it's a 3-part story. And it started with Johnny in part 1 a few weeks ago. Part 1 was he started the week at $0. By Wednesday, he had 3 programs approved. How much? $45,000. Wow, that's great. How did he do it? He got to get, what did he do? Well, by Wednesday, he heard my recordings. And he didn't stop at 3 programs approved. He kept on pushing. And by the end of the week, he had 7 programs approved. To get 7 programs approved, it had to have been at least 15 phone calls. You're going to get about 20 to 50% rejection rate. And that's why I like part 1 of the story. He made at least 15 phone calls to get 7 programs approved. How much did he get? $80,000. This is how you rock and roll. If you're one of those people that reached out to 1, 2 places and you got 2 no's and you stop, not listening. There was even the early morning's countdown this morning. I was in the live chat and I saw someone say, I reached out to 1 place that referred to me to another place and both said, no, I think I'm doing something wrong. You're not doing anything wrong. You have to keep on pushing because you're going to get no's until you start getting some yeses. Next, part 2 of Johnny's incredible story followed the following Monday. He reached out to 2 family members, told them what he got. They said, LALATE, I've heard about him. But what was it for? Third stimulus. They said, I've never heard this on broadcast media. He said, they don't cover it. He covers it. Let me show you what it is. He did. They got approved. They became believers. And by the end of the week, they each got $50,000. The landscape in America right now is that this channel, LALATE, is the #1 channel in the United States for geopolitical news, print, broadcast, or internet. When we're talking about overall financial news, LALATE is now number 3. But what's important for you to understand is that there's a lot of subject matters in financial news to cover and too much to cover at any given time. So if you don't hear me cover stocks, if you don't come and have me cover futures, options, or SPACs, doesn't mean they don't exist. It means I just don't cover it. And that was why that happened with those 2 family members. Then we go into part 3 of incredible Johnny's story, which is over the next few weeks, people kept coming over, hearing he was getting people money. They said, help us, help me. And they each became members of this channel. They each watched the videos of Johnny. Johnny went over the videos with them. And how much money and how many people he helped? Johnny helped 32 people. And he got them collectively $850,000. So go right on this video right now to sign up for the incredible membership newsletter so you get the knowledge that Johnny had to get people $850,000. It features the 6 places you reach out to. It features the keywords you say. It features the 5 nonprofits not featured in this video. It features the 1 nonprofit that helps with home repairs not featured in this video. It also features the statement from Treasury you want to read before calling up for the money for the rent across the board, also not featured in this video. And with that, let's go back into the incredible provisions that are in this recon where we left off at the provisions of housing. So 3 provisions for housing are brand new, and they are the following provisions. The first new provision is the home repairs. This is if you live in a low-income community. Number 2, the weatherize your home, which is for all types of homes of all income levels. And number 3, first-time home purchases. This is money given to the seller in your name at the time of purchase. They got $150 billion of in-home health care in this incredible recon. They got in there the Pell Grant, $550 check for my college student. And then they got in there the incredible $12,500 for the purchase of a new electric vehicle and $65 per month per student when they're not in school. Which brings us to the best provision of this recon, which is the medicine. Day 1, 20 medications will be dramatically cheaper. And this is the most expensive medications, so Medicare Part B, Medicare Part D, like cancer, arthritis, diabetes. Day 1, they'll be dramatically slashed. For example, an insulin dose going from $1,000 to $35. Then they can increase per inflation each year and up to 30 medications by the year 2028. That is incredible. And meantime, if you're looking at this graphic, 15,000, yeah. So there's a lot of other money in this recon besides 15,000 because we got everything from third stimulus continued over, everything that's brand new and everything that's being added in there. So what are some of those other checks in this incredible recon? Well, they got the universal pre-kindergarten in there. That is great. They got in there the money for my children when they're not in school. The nutrition, $65 a month, just went over that. The housing, they got it in there as well. And then they got in there the Medicare assistance. So what next and what is happening thereafter? I have my commentary of what I believe is going to happen, and that is coming up in about 5 minutes with additional sums of money of how you get from third stimulus. But let's take a detour for just in a second to student loan debt forgiveness and fifth stimulus, and especially your questions. So student loan debt forgiveness has an offer on the table to forgive $10,000 of student loan debt. The president has already forgiven student loan debts for people who became disabled after graduation or went to work in the nonprofit to public sector. The Democrats should take the latest offer. Then, what about that big fifth stimulus and that COLA raise and your SNAP benefits? This has been really a topic of discussion on this channel. Let me explain what's at issue. Your benefits are tied to a benchmark, and that benchmark currently is called Infloat COLA. It's been the benchmark for many years. This channel and you and I have fought for the increase of your benefits over the last few months. Finally, your benefits are getting increased because COLA is a higher number this year. 5.9% because of inflation, 5.9%, which is still not as high as COLA should be, but it's better than nothing. So your benefits are going up, 1, 5.9%, 2, automatically, 3, January 1, unless you're a veteran, you may have seen it happen a month earlier. You want your benefits to go up. Don't you want to get more cash per month? Of course you do. Now with that, there's some people who say, I'm very upset my SNAP is going down. Well, which would you rather have? Your benefits to go up or your SNAP to go down? SNAP is tied to how much money you make. And if you're getting more benefits checks in some states, one viewer in the morning's countdown had a great comment. She checked with her state officials. She said, no one's SNAP is going down in our state. But in some states, if your benefits are going up, which is more income, then your SNAP will be adjusted down. Not a lot, because your SNAP went up 25% in the month of October. So it'll step down a little bit proportionally for that COLA. They want to do fifth stimulus as well right behind it, which would raise your benefits up a lifetime, giving you even more income, apply a new benchmark, which would be inflation, 2 to 3% every year, and then remove the asset cap and the income cap as well. And that is fifth stimulus. Meantime, let me go into my commentary and thoughts of where we are as we go into the new day and a big evenings starting in just 2 hours. You saw last night on this channel a rare display. And what was the display? It was me. I did Afternoons LA for nearly 1 hour live on air and Evenings LA for 1 hour live on air. If you missed those shows, they either came before this recording today or are appearing up later tonight on this channel. The importance of those recordings was to show you where we are right now in terms of timeline, because it has been a long path. The recon was in one format before July, then changed. Then it was supposed to go to a vote in July, then changed. Then supposed to go to a vote Labor Day, Memorial Day weekend, changed. And then was supposed to get changed in the Senate, and things just changed quickly. So I went over sort of the timeline. The takeaway today is that I want you to understand that your energy on the recon is equally expressed in a series of quotes today from the same people who want to give you stuff on the recon. The quotes coming out from Liz Warren and similar people is that we have to get this recon done. I mean, we can't keep on dragging it out. One, it doesn't help the party. Number two, it doesn't help that the programs expire. Number three, it doesn't help Americans. They need to have that money. And number four, it's at a point where you just have to call the vote. So I want you to understand that the president's decision to take off any potential voting on the recon before Christmas or before New Year's is not collectively agreed with many of the key progressive Democrats who want to give you big paydays. They are not really happy about the situation. Now, ironically, some legislators are actually dead silent on the situation and have been dead silent for over a week. You can take that silence as deafening, that they're very, very upset about the situation. For example, we've seen no update from Bernie Sanders in nearly 2 weeks. No update about his 3 Medicare expansions that he said he has to have them in there, or he's voting against the recon. So there is that element. Pramila Jayapal last night had a series of tweets out saying the House got their part done. It's now time for the Senate to get their part done. And the news reports of where we are right now are equally confused because of bad reporting, or confused because the legislators are not giving us guidance. In this week, we saw something very sort of unusual you haven't seen on this channel before. The people who determine when things are voted on are the majority leader of the Senate and the Speaker of the House, Nancy and Chuck, not the president. So the president clearly had some kumbaya moment or some briefing or debriefing with Chuck and Nancy saying, you're not going to vote before Christmas. This is the situation, and I'm telling you, no. This was not something that came from the bottom up. So Liz Warren or Chris Coon or Bob Casey, they did not say, don't call the vote. This is a decision that came from the president, came back down. Do I believe the recon is going to get done? Yes. Do I believe that I am worried about any provision of the recon? No. No. And do I think that there's anything working in our benefit? Yeah. I think that the state of health in the United States right now, because of Delta specifically, and because of Omicron, the latest winter wave of the virus, helps the discussion, because there was the person or persons like a Joe Manchin, just no less 2 weeks ago, that would have pulled all the same economic data that Mitch McConnell will say, I'm not giving you recon, I'm not giving you stimulus, to say, you know what, this is not helping Americans. What did Joe Manchin say no less than 2 weeks ago? Inflation, too much stimulus, too much stimulus, inflation. And here's what's at issue here, is that comment is actually not a correct economic comment. It's really an incorrect economic comment. And if he was to say it today, it would be very clear it's incorrect. 2 weeks ago, it may have been correct. Let's go over the details. If we were back in September, October, and we saw inflation picking up, maybe it was hovering around 3 or 4%, which even for some people, that's a lot. We didn't have Omicron then, and we didn't have the winter surge of Delta like we did now. We just had really good economic data. In fact, it was no less than 2 weeks ago. Actually, it was a week ago. I saw it on air, giving you the 3 major economic data points that came in. The great jobs numbers, the great unemployment numbers, the job creation number, the great, the horrible inflation number. And I said, here are all the economic numbers. If that was all we were dealing with, Joe Manchin comment that, there's too much inflation, maybe this recon's a bad idea, would seem digestible. But guess who thinks it's not digestible? Jerome Powell. No one in the White House, no one in the Democrats has connected the left leg with the right leg this week. I don't know why. Jerome Powell this week said in his briefing for the Federal Reserve, the most important brief of the entire year, that he still does not know what's going on with the variant. He is still not going off either variant. And that he will have to adjust his economic prospect going forward based upon if there's a pickup. That comment was earlier in the week. That comment was early in the week by Jay Powell before the second wave really is now kicking in late this week. And if you were to bring Jay Powell in, the head of the Federal Reserve, back into Congress to have another debriefing right now, he'd say, we're very worried about the economic impact, shuttering of businesses, supply chain, travel and leisure, schools, universities that are shutting down because of the second wave of the virus. So I'm not worried about inflation. We may be going backwards in less growth, less inflation because of the virus. So is this helping us? Ironically, it is. And you've seen me for over a year. When you have really great economic data right before you're about to vote on a package to give help to American people, some people say they don't need help. The economy is doing really well. Now the economy is tinkering on an edge of unsettlingness because of this big wave. And this is a very serious wave. This is not a slight wave. The second issue is that Jerome Powell this week said, as to tapering, he's going to do a faster taper, but he's not going to do an immediate cutoff. And he's not going to do interest rate spikes right away because he says, I'm going to wait till all the tapering is done, and then we'll address whether we're going to do interest rate spikes because we may not have to do them to deal with inflation. Okay, so this is the number one economist in the United States, or at least upon what we've elected him to or appointed him to, who says, Am I worried about inflation that I have to come in with an interest rate spike on January 1, 2022? No. So he clearly sees an issue. He's worried that maybe unemployment will go up again. Maybe people will not go back to work again. Well, guess what? That's already happening. Businesses are closing. A lot of businesses are closing during this holiday season because they are worried about the second wave. And you know the story. So the issue at hand is that it's almost perfect timing, better now than it was 2 weeks ago, to get the recon done. It's very good time. If they were calling the vote this week, let's say, the week before Christmas, this would have been perfect timing. I mean, this would have been wrapped up like a bow because COVID out of control, worst outbreak we're seeing since the start of pandemic, worst daily deaths in New York and hospitalizations since the pandemic. Just horrible data, horrible data. You need help for people. You need help for businesses. You need help for industries. You need help across the board. This is why we're here as congressmen, and we need to get it done. It was a perfect storm to come in and get it done. So what I don't hope upon anything, but what I do believe is that the pandemic is not going to improve between now and the first and second week of January. And if the situation right now with the pandemic is equally as bad in in first and second week of January, then it all tees up that any narrative by a Joe Manchin that I'm worried about inflation is so insanely inaccurate for purposes of economics, so inanely inaccurate that it just sounds like excuse. It just sounds like excuse because the Federal Reserve Chairman doesn't buy it. The Federal Reserve Chairman is not buying it. Federal Reserve Chairman thinks that maybe we're going to have businesses revert backwards, unemployment revert backwards, job participation get worse, and that will be stagflation, meaning that we won't grow, we're going to shrink, and that price of goods will come down because people will not have cash to buy it. Wherever if you don't have cash to buy a price of good, it ain't going to sell. So next, how about the White House? The White House and the viewers of this channel, we had a lot of polls yesterday, and those live chats with those polls, very, very informative. If you missed the shows, let me give you the rundown of what I asked viewers. First, I asked viewers, do you believe the recon is going to become law? Absolutely, the viewers thought. Number one. Number two, I asked viewers, do you think the White House believes that doing the recon in January has just the same amount of impact on his political career as doing it in December? They thought so. I said, do you think that the White House potentially is rolling over the recon to January to put it closer to the midterm elections to help this White House? And the overwhelming response was yes. Many viewers, and even myself, believe that there is an aura out there that this White House thinks that they're so in control of popularity that they are just doing the cat's meow, that moving a recon from December to January is no negative effect on them. In fact, there's a poll about this, an inside report about this. But on the other hand, that moving from December to January may help the White House, not help us, but help the White House because it's close to the midterm elections. And you would think it sounds ridiculous, but if you have the best provisions of your entire presidency passing the third stimulus now expiring, you would be running up and down the hall saying, don't let them expire, don't let them expire, unless you have a plan to just walk them in and get them done at the 11th hour before an election. If there was one thing that we learned last year, and this president hopefully is learning, maybe you're watching. If you're watching, Mr. President, let me give you a message. Last year, there was a lot of opportunities for your predecessor, President Donald Trump, to do stuff at the 11th hour to save his presidency in the purposes of stimulus. And we said on this channel going into August, he needs to get it done. And if he got it done right now, it would really get him reelected. September got really close, and we said, he's running out of days. He needs to get it done now. Do it by executive order. By the time September came around and we're heading towards the midterm, we're heading towards the general election in October, viewers of this channel back in October last year said, if you leave second stimulus to like the week before the election, it's going to look like you're using second stimulus to get yourself elected. And we even did a series of videos for almost 2 weeks on this channel saying, well, the ballots in the mail have already gone out, so the people won't have received the money for the second stimulus. They'll have received the ballot before they got the money for second stimulus. Needless to say, it all blew up. It all blew up because they never got it done. Trying to time legislation and people receiving legislation with a general election is a dangerous proposition, and no White House should ever do it. And this one shouldn't do it either. Why? Because let's say he gets the legislation done, fourth stimulus recon done in second week of January. And he says, okay, great. So now it's going to get me in great position for the midterm elections. Let's say some of the best provisions of the recon, because of the way the agency is set up, doesn't go out, until September. And people are already voting in the mail-in voting. I'm not saying about your IRS stimulus check. I'm talking about stuff like maybe housing. Maybe the housing isn't set up quickly enough. Maybe there's something backlog or some problem with it. People get those midterm election ballots in September. Yeah, do not play games of dates. People see when people play games of dates. If there's one thing that Americans see a mile away, and you've seen it on this channel, we've talked about a lot, is when you're playing with their money and the dates. They see it. They can see it a mile away before you're doing it. So I certainly hope the president is not trying to play games with dates and people's money to help his political career. What do you think he's doing? Jump on the live chat and tell me what you think. Meantime, I'm very excited for you and very happy for you. Why? Because this channel tried out a new show 2 days ago. Was it 2 days ago? 3 days ago. 3 days ago. And my goodness, it's like I would have cried. It's like the best, it's like the number one watch show on this channel. It was a mistake. It's always been my life story. Every mistake I do is always a hit. Everything I plan is a failure. No, it is called Evenings Extra. Evenings Extra is a runaway smash hit. Where in the world did this come from? It is because of the time slot. It is 8 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, which on the East Coast is 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Now, that's the time slot what Calcino is in. But I thought that some people want some humor at 8 o'clock and some people want more information because they may have been working long hours. They come and they want to see the latest video that's just premiering and they want to see it. And boy, are you loving it. So the new extended evenings lineup is out of control and people are adoring it. The biggest numbers we've ever seen in the history of this channel. Evenings LA at 5 o'clock, brand new show every day. Evenings Countdown at 6 o'clock. 7 o'clock is Holidays stream stimulus, which is half stimulus and half holidays. Some people want it in the evening. Some people rather might want all information. 8 o'clock is Calcino. And also at 8 o'clock is the final major newish show. It's not new that day, but newish, like in the day or two before, called Evenings Extra. Before we go into our 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock show. All with live feed, all with live chats and And meantime, you have also been really liking the Overnights Metaverse Crypto Show. Yeah, it's about the metaverse and crypto. Not all crypto, but metaverse crypto. And it's teen, and you've been watching in bigger numbers than the normal Overnights LA. So the Overnights Metaverse Crypto Show, very, very well received. I'm glad you're liking it. And it tees up the new Metaverse show, which is totally different, coming to this channel in just a few days, which shows you how to get these big sums of money. And with that, I want you part of this incredible family. So go into this video, and subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Stay informed, stay focused, have a beautiful day. And join me next on Overnight's Metaverse Crypto, and then see you at 5 o'clock as Evenings LA heats up.